If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, October 15th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. This time last week, Simone Manuel was getting ready to make one of the biggest decisions of her life, particularly where she was going to college. Now she's announced that she will attend Stanford University in the fall, and to talk about that and more today in the Finis Monitor is Simone Manuel from her home in Sugar Land, Texas. Simone, it's great to see you. How are you today?
Good, and you?
Doing great, thanks. So let's talk about this, about choosing Stanford. Walk us through last week when you were deciding on which coach was going to get the call to say you were going to their school.
Well, it was a big decision for me. I think the reason why I picked Stanford was just I really liked the coach, and I felt like Greg could develop me to get better and get to the next level. And I had a great time with the team, and it was the best fit for me. Making the decision in itself, I just weighed a lot of elements like location and how I fit in with the team, or just simple things as what the weather would be like and if I would really enjoy it, and then education along with the swimming component.
Well, you got Stanford Red on right now. Have you actually gone out and bought any Stanford shirts, any apparel just yet?
Yes, I have a pair of Stanford pants, 2 shirts, and a sweatshirt.
Okay, well you're definitely going to get a lot more than that when you go to school next fall. So you got to start getting ready for it now. Get used to proudly wearing Stanford all over.
Yeah.
When I talked to you last week, when you told me that you were going to Stanford, you had said that you were looking for a school that could be a good mix of academic and athletics. Do you kind of have any thoughts on what you want to study there at Stanford?
Well, originally I wanted to study business, but Stanford doesn't have an undergraduate business program, so that would have to be going into my master's. But I'm pretty sure that I'll find something that I enjoy. I enjoy math, so maybe another major in that area.
Well, I know there's a lot of engineering majors there on the men's and women's teams, so I'm sure they can get you some advice on that. And you know, Stanford, you can't go wrong with any major you pick.
Yeah.
So how's senior year going for you so far?
It's been pretty busy. Sort of overwhelming at times. I thought it was going to be easy just because the normal senioritis, that's what people tell you, but I've been having to work a lot in school, and then just getting back into swimming from missing training from some of these recruiting trips has been a little tough.
Tell me what's the hardest class you're taking right now?
Well, the 2 hardest classes, I have 2 hard classes, I think, are calculus, and I'm also in art history, which is a class where you have to know 1,000 pieces by the end of the year. So it's a lot of memorization and knowing locations of the art and the techniques the artists used.
Good grief. So in your final, are you going to be shown like a piece of art? You have to say who did it and where and when and all that?
Yeah, just the time period. For instance, we did Greek art, and you have to know if it's Hellenistic or classical, and the artist, and then the time, and then if it was marble or bronze, just if it was a sculpture or architecture, you have to know many details of the art piece.
Well, I just have to say, and you know, the way your swimming career is going, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to travel around the world. I'm sure your art history will come into play soon, or maybe you get to visit Paris sometime to go to a swim meet. You get to visit the Louvre, and you could say, I remember that from high school, and it all pays off.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do it because I do see a lot of the world, so I thought it'd be interesting to know about some art. I can't draw, so it's good to learn about art.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn. Are you planning on competing in high school in Texas, high school swimming this season?
No, I do not swim for my high school. I have not at all.
Was that a conscious decision you make, said you didn't want to do it, or was it just something that just was never really fit in with everything?
Well, going into freshman year in 8th grade, a lot of teammates talked about swimming high school, and I never was too crazy about it. At some point, I did want to do it because a lot of my friends were doing it, but I believe that it would just stretch me too thin, and it's too much work because Texas high school season starts from September and it goes all the way to March, which is pretty much the whole short course season for USA Swimming. So it was two different calibers of training and philosophy of coaches, and also missing training for meets and such. So I didn't think it was the best fit for me to be the best that I could be.
Okay. Do you prefer short course or long course racing? Which works better for you?
Well, it depends on the event, but I do like long course training and racing. When you're doing it in international competitions, you have to do long course, so I might as well enjoy it more than short course.
Well, you're going to be getting ready for a lot of short course training, so you'll definitely have to start getting used to that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of walls.
Yeah, it's a lot of walls. You don't swim you don't swim very far, so the walls are not as bad as somebody who has to swim the mile as opposed to a 1,500 long course.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely look like you're a great long course swimmer. You had a great summer. I mean, nationals, you got second in the 50 free, fourth in the 100 free. You got to go to Worlds where you made the final of the 50, national age group record. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, it's just a great breakout summer for you. Tell me your thoughts about how you did this summer.
I think I did pretty good. My whole goal was to make the team just some way or another, mainly in the relay, but the 50 was a surprise for me, which was exciting in itself to know that I had potential in that event. I hadn't really focused on that. I'd been focusing on the 100 free and the 200 free, and at World Championship trials, I did pretty well in my 100 free and not so well in my 200 free, and then pretty well in my 50 free. So it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I was happy with the end result.
Well, I'd have to say you did more than pretty well in your 150 free. I mean, when you touched and saw that you got fourth place and got automatically on that relay, I mean, was it a shock? Or, I mean, you said you wanted to make it, but I guess in the realization of the moment, were you just kind of like, I can't believe this happened?
Oh, well, in the 100 free, I got third.
Third, I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I was pretty surprised because I didn't think I would get that high up, but especially from lane 8, just not really seeing the field in itself. But I mean, I was really excited. I mean, I missed the second spot by .03, so that was a little bummer because that would have been nice to get the individual swim, but I was really happy with how I did.
And then you got to swim on the relay, the 400 free relay in Spain, and you got to make the finals of the 50 free. What was your takeaway from your experience in Barcelona?
I just learned how to, I guess, swim better in the races and the strategy, because in the 50 free I didn't realize how much I needed to work on, or just a strategy for a 50. Yes, you have a strategy for a 50, but there were so many different outlooks from coaches and even some of the swimmers that could give me advice. So I took away a lot of learning about myself and how to swim faster.
What was going through your mind when, you were there in Barcelona? I mean, a lot of people, when they make their first international trip, it's not usually something like the Olympics or World Championships. So, I mean, really, you were thrust right into not just the biggest meet of the year, but, arguably the second biggest international meet of the year. So, how were you able to handle all that pressure in your first meet?
I don't think I took it as pressure, because I think that World Champ Trials is more pressure than World Championships, just because you have to think about, oh, I have to make the team. And especially since this was different than Olympic trials, you only had one chance to make the finals. I believe that during my races, I just went out there and told myself, just do the best that you can do. I had nothing to lose. I was already there, and doing the best that I can do would make me be satisfied and happy with my end result.
Well, I saw that your coach from First Colony, Allison Bieber, was in Spain to watch you swim. Did the two of you get to interact very much?
No, I was able to talk to her before the final of my 50 free. She didn't tell me anything about my race. I think she did that because when I go off to other meets, she's not always going to be there, and she wants me to learn how to coach myself, which is a good learning experience because she's not always there holding my hand. I think she was also there just for, my family wasn't there, so it was bring me a piece of home.
Yeah, it's good to have a face that you knew in the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, what's she like as a coach?
She's really cool. I mean, she's tough. She's an amazing coach, teaches me a lot of things, but she never lets me slack off. She'll tell me how it is. If I'm not doing well, she'll tell me, and then I really trust in her and what she's doing for me and helping me get better, that I will do my best to be up to, I guess I'll just do my best because she's just so awesome and a great coach that I like to make her happy along with myself.
And the First Colony swim team is really doing well. There's always a lot of other kids that, especially when you guys go to the NCSA Junior Nationals, you see a lot of kids stepping up, doing well. What's it like, being able to, I guess you're probably now more than ever a big role model for a lot of your teammates.
Yeah, I really enjoy it because our group size, Senior Elite, which is the group I'm in, has gotten so much bigger. We've had some of the young ones, 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds, move up to the group, and I really enjoy seeing how eager they are to get faster and learn. And as a group, a whole, we all want to make NCSAs. Everyone have a time to make NCSAs, which is great because a group goal helps make the group faster, and we just keep pushing each other to get better. And just having that leadership role to help people improve is amazing.
Well, one last question. I got a chance to speak with you briefly at the Diversity Committee meeting at the USA Swimming Convention in Anaheim a few weeks ago. And it looks like you're really kind of one of the people that's going to really try to help bring a lot more diversity into the sport. If there was one thing that USA Swimming could do to attract more swimmers of color, what do you think that could be?
That's a good question. I haven't thought that far into it. I just would think I guess like Colin Jones' campaign is a great help to get more minorities in the sport, and just teaching them to not be afraid of the water, because many of them gravitate to different sports. Just teaching them how to be happy and safe around the water is a great tool to help diversify the sport.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, maybe I know that you had mentioned that maybe you would like to be a part of Make a Splash and go around the country doing clinics with Cullen. So maybe that'll be a possibility sometime before you go off to college.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Hopefully USA Swimming is watching this and they're getting the ideas running around. All right, Simone, so before we let you go, we want to submit you to the final 5. These are 5 questions we ask all of our guests to kind of get to know them a little bit better before we sign off. So the first question, I know I don't know if it applies to you a lot because you're a sprint freestyler, but if you could change the order of the strokes in the individual medley, how would you change it?
I would probably put the breaststroke first, breast back, fly free.
Okay. What's a career that you would most like to try?
I think it would be cool to be in a circus, like the trapezes.
The trapezes? Okay, I was going to ask you which part of the circus. I wouldn't want to be the lion tamer, personally.
No, definitely not.
All right, so what's a career that you would not like to try?
Being a zookeeper.
Being a zookeeper, all right, yeah, I can understand that. If you could change or add any rule in the swimming rule book, what would it be?
That we could have a running start.
Okay, well, that's a new one. And last question, where do you most like to go on vacation?
Well, I really enjoyed when I went to Hawaii, so it's very tropical and relaxing.
Okay, well, you've got to get kind of close to there. I mean, Stanford's just on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, kind of close.
Kind of close. Well, Simone, thanks so much for joining us today. Congratulations on making your college choice, and congratulations on all the success you've had, and look forward to seeing you on deck sometime soon.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Simone Manuel joining us on today's edition of the Morning Swim Show. We want to thank all of you for watching, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and keep up with all the latest news on swimmingworld.com. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.